So my name is Lawrence Buchanan from BNS. We're going to do a SQL MI install, and I've got Bruce Smith with me. Bruce has been doing some work with us on the Azure side of the business, and this is purely just a default run of how to set up managed instance. Obviously, for customers, they're going to have their own specific requirements. We're just going with a very basic lab test install. All right, so from the Azure portal, I've logged in. I've searched up here for SQL Managed Instance. We've got none, so we're just going to create one. All right, so this is the particular subscription we're going to use. We've already got a resource group. So now we're going to create a new one. SQL MI BNS. Yes, that should be unique enough. And we'll have BNS SQL MI. It's going to be Asia Pacific East. It's not belonging to a pool. We're going to configure the managed instance. We're going to select the general purpose. We are going to have this the standard Broadwell. We'll go with the minimum for this. We're going to have 256 gig for storage is fine. So that should, 4 cores should end up with about 20 gig of memory. So it's pretty cost effective. One of the things that Bruce pointed out to me is that we can actually stop the SQL MI to reduce the compute costs, and that was something that was rolled out in the 2022 release. Is that correct, Bruce?
Yeah, it was released into preview in November 2022 and is still rolling out among Azure regions, but certainly available in AU East.
Cool, that's great. Okay. All right. In terms of our zone requirement redundancy, we're just going to leave that as default. It's going to be our pay-as-you-go subscription. Just let it default to geo-redundant backup storage. So that's going to be pretty cost effective. So we'll apply that one. So not buying a backup pool. That's this one we've selected there, which is correct. Here we'll go both SQL and Microsoft Entra. We'll just give it a basic. Oh, we can't use basic. Well done. SQL admin. Give it a password. This is going to be a long password. That's good. We've met all the criteria. So all that looks good. Happy with that, Bruce?
Yeah, you're going to have to set the Entra admin.
Okay, so select myself. Select. Okay, done that. We've also got our managed instance admin login. SQL admin. So the next one I'll do is networking. Okay, so the deployment of this, we'll just take the default, which Azure is presenting to us. We'll take the default of proxy. So there's 2 options, proxy or redirect. So we'll take proxy. Public endpoint, we'll definitely have that disabled, which is the default. TLS 1.2, which is the highest at the moment. Go to security. Say not for now for Defender. The identity. So system assigned identity enabled. So what are these, Bruce? These are the...
It will allow you to use things inside Azure, like your security keys and other things.
Okay. We don't need
So
to worry about that.
you would leave that as enabled by default.
Yeah.
You'll find down there there's also a data encryption. So if you don't want to use the Azure defined security, or you want to use your own keys for data encryption or for access, then you can control your own identity there.
Gotcha. Very good. All right, so let's go on to additional settings. So this is the default, and this is the same as standard SQL 2022 rollout. We will change the time zone to Sydney, Australia. It's been done, and system default for maintenance window, happy with that, 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. Now here we're going to take the default SQL Server 2022. That's the version of the engine that we want, definitely.
And SQL MI will, of course, keep that patched and up to date for you, so you don't have to do that sort of maintenance on the database.
Yeah, I like that. It's going to be huge cost savings for customers. Next is tags. We won't worry about tags because this is just for a test environment. So this is a review. So pay-as-you-go. That looks good. Be with that. So I'm going to hit create. And this will take around about, 30 minutes to do. So I think we'll let it do it.
We didn't do anything with availability zones or anything complex in our config. So that will use the rapid deployment, which was also a feature of the November 22 feature wave. Excellent. Otherwise, this can take substantially longer than 30 minutes.
All right, so that's all completed. That took around about 30 minutes for the deployment to occur. After it's proceeded through, you get a deployment notice succeeded up here. You can go to the resource, or you can go to it here. And this gives you the basic portal information about the resource, the host name. So that, Bruce, is the connection that we will use.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's how we'll connect to it. From the application and also from SQL Management Studio. So in the next edition of the video series, we're going to actually go and build a VM, which we'll just use for utilities like SQL Management Studio. We'll download the Management Studio, the latest version, which handles all of the Azure, all of the new authentication methods for Entra, with all the certificates, the additional certificates, the mandatory certificate levels. So that's something that we've been reading up on. That's all the latest stuff. But the most important thing here, which Bruce mentioned earlier, is this stop feature. So we're going to stop MI from running. That will save on the compute cost, which for developers like us, it's just a perfect scenario. So you can just start it up again, run your tests, and then shut it down. So that's it for this series. Thanks, Bruce, for your time, and we'll see you in the next one.